to make a dunce hat.
In Victorian times, pupils who were slow at learning were made to stand in the corner wearing the hat.
Duns Scotus believed that cone-shaped hats increase the learning potential of the wearer.
I own this car, but it's unfinished. But lots of cars are delivered unfinished. The Rivian R1T, the Mach-E, the Cybertruck, the ID cars from Volkswagen, all delivered unfinished. But this one is unfinished and finished at the same time. This is my 2024 Fisker Conman. Well, that's not true. It's my 2023 Fisker Ocean that I purchased in 2024. I made a mistake. If you own one of these, you're not going to want to hear this story, but you need to. And a lot of people are naming their Oceans, and I decided on a name. I was thinking about Gita, but meet 10K.
10K.
How do I sum this up?
Bankrupt because homework submitted late.
We got to translate it to English, right?
Typical.
I guess he is 2 for 2.
And if 10K doesn't make any sense, then congratulations, you probably didn't invest in Fisker. But if you like Gita better, let me know in the comments. It does look cool, and that's it. And now I'm going to make fun of it because they tanked my resale value and the company's going bankrupt, and if I get rid of it, it'll be like, well, because they said they were going to discount this car even though it doesn't exist. Quick aside, hello Fisker employees, you're looking sharp. You're actually looking really sharp. Did you do something with the hair? Either way, this is not your fault. Remember, Henrik Fisker is worse than John DeLorean because he managed to con his investors and owners not once, but twice. This is the key fob. Let's go ahead and unlock it, shall we? I do that because, well, sometimes the key fob works and sometimes it doesn't. In fact, there's an extremely complex list of instructions that you need to use in order to use this 4-button simple key fob the regular way. And that's never been done that poorly before on any vehicle since these quit being keys. But it has made me realize the Ocean is like a pet. You have to rub it to make it feel better. This works much more consistently as it's nice to the vehicle. And we must be nice. Also, this battery has a tendency to die like all the time, so why would I press any of the buttons? As we enter, hilarious. As we enter, I can't put the key away yet because I may need to tap it to this NFC reader right over here at any given time because sometimes it thinks it's in the car and sometimes it doesn't. Luckily, Fisker thought of this and conveniently put a key holder right there. So you can always access your key since you have to. So, welcome to my Fisker Ocean. It's a whole bunch of recycled material which they put too much of in the charger. I'm gonna set it down and align it. I mean, I'm just gonna line it up, line it up, line it up. Nothing happens. But if I lift this up, and when I put the phone underneath, with it lifted up,
I'm charging. Right now, I'm charging.
and no, it's not the case.
I got the phone. This is the case, OtterBox case. iPhone 15 Pro. I'm gonna set it down. It's charging.
But despite the recycled material, there's almost no software. But luckily it has plenty of room to spread out across this 17-inch screen, which also rotates. Yes, I got the rotating screen even though I didn't pay for it. The software is so incomplete that they didn't even software lock the features I didn't pay for.
But that hasn't stopped them from pretending they can. I got this email literally today saying that my free trial period for all these features will end on December 31st, 2024. Which means there's a very good chance the trial will outlive the company. But the best part is I paid for the winter package, which is all 4 of these features, and yet they still want to take them away from me. Nothing left for me to do but attach my bill of sale and forward it on to the Federal Trade Commission. And I don't know what I'll do without that rotating screen. Oh, you want to see it rotate? I'm not going to rotate it for you because I'm scared it'll get stuck or break, and there's no service right now because they're too busy selling cars for half the price that they were advertised. So
I'll show you some stock footage of it rotating instead. This is the sport trim, so it doesn't have the solar roof, which is completely useless, basically. Unless you live in California and you park outside. But my least favorite part about the car is when people come up to you and they say, "Hey man, that's a nice car, I'd really like to get one." Then you have to tell them the truth. This company is going to go bankrupt soon, and there's no service for the car, and we have no idea what's going to actually happen with the warranty or where we're going to get it fixed, and all that fun stuff. I mean, I guess I could do it the Fisker way and just say how awesome it is and talk about all the cool features and completely ignore the fact that it's totally a grenade on wheels.
No, I cannot comment on that.
The Ocean One retailed for $68,999, and now it's, well, it's still $68,999, but why would you want one anyway? Most of them are the Ocean One, and the resale value is so low you can pick one up for like $35 with 2,000 miles on it. Luckily, I did get my plates, but that was a whole thing. There was months where people just didn't have plates, and they were all issued by the state of Arizona, which is the only state that doesn't require a title to get you a temporary plate. I wonder why they're all Arizona.
I cannot comment on that.
And since this is the first EV, for most of the people that got this car, they don't realize that other EVs don't suffer from massive phantom drain, or they'll never die when they're plugged in because the car will just charge itself. And then there's the app, which won't connect to my phone, or sometimes it does, but there's always an error, and the only thing it will do is tell me what charge percentage it's at. It will not unlock the doors on any version of software that I've ever had. And this revolutionary software comes with 20-year-old, well, really we could call it 40-year-old cruise control. And there's no button to enable it unless you want to enable it, which you have to press it once and then press it again if you're pressing the accelerator. But if you let off the accelerator, you press it once, and there's no indication that it's on unless it's on. But if you press the brake, it's still on, but there's no indicator. And if you switch from a Tesla to a Fisker Ocean and you want to disable the cruise, well,
I was pressing up on this stock here.
that same motion will put your vehicle into neutral at 70 miles an hour. And there's no fail-safe. It just does it. That's okay, 2016 software. I forgive you. Down here is an industry-first digital radar, or at least it claims to be. It actually could be, but you'd have to ask the company under that developed it, which is a hilarious piece of irony. And for now, it just does nothing. But that's enough of the negatives. Let's take a look at the positives, like the microscopic cup holders. All I have to do is shove my cup in as hard as I can, and it'll stay. And the cup holders in the back are just as bad, unless you got the Ocean One, which makes them even worse because of Limo mode, which has a little screen in the back that allows you to control your climate unless it doesn't work, which it doesn't work sometimes. And that LCD display is straight out of a 1991 Buick Reatta. And speaking of climate, it's turned up to 11 on high when you need air conditioning. Sometimes the climate control turns on to 90 degrees, which is high.
But it says high. And I need to take it back down to where it was.
And the only way to prevent this is to enter the car and follow these exact steps. Unlock the car, open the door, close the door, buckle your seatbelt, and then press the brake to turn it on. This makes sure the seat sensor is engaged, the car knows you're in and buckled, and the door is closed, so the vehicle is ready to drive, which means all the modules will respond as ready to drive.
Since this is the cheap one, the battery is lithium iron phosphate, which is actually nice because I'll know that when it fails because of the software or the company going bankrupt or no one can service it anymore, it won't be due to a battery fire.
And just to name a few other things, there was a small mountain of brake dust on my rear passenger wheel when I cleaned it for a ceramic coating. Check that video out on my detail channel. And the brake pad was already starting to squeak, which means something's wrong with the rear brakes. So what is my relationship with my Ocean like? Well, back when I had more hair, I did some dating in college. And there were so many opportunities to meet people because my schedule varied from day to day and the massive debt I accumulated allowed for lots of free time to try to escape the mental anguish caused by the thoughts of such debt. So I was out and about, meeting people daily. That reminds me, I didn't mention the mudflaps. If you drive your Ocean above, let's say 60 miles an hour, 95 kph, your rear mudflaps will mutilate themselves and either fall off or rub against your tire until you rip them off yourself to prevent the noise. Where was I? Oh yeah, dating. Young people are crazy. They don't know how to do laundry or cook or clean or stay organized. They talk weird, and they simply won't go to bed. But the authentic, arrogant, ignorantly blissful charm that comes with being young can be very attractive. Until what can't be unseen has been seen. Which takes what, 2 months? That's about how long I could hide my inability to function properly in society from any potential significant other. And after 2 months with my Fisker Ocean, I have seen what can't be unseen. The beauty has worn off. I've seen behind the curtain to the Chinese ArcFox platform that was so non-compliant with US, UK, and Europe safety standards and homologation requirements that it had to be basically re-engineered almost from the ground up to be eligible for sale. His short-sightedness and focus on paying debts caused Fisker to forego a delivery or service network in the United States, which means some customers were already making payments on their vehicle before it even reached the United States across the ocean, at the same time as he was buying a $21 million home and selling $20 million worth of shares.
I could have bought a smaller house, but I thought at the end of the day, it is my decision, and I don't feel guilty about it.
And they spent $5 million to establish the Grove, which took over a year and cost $10,000 a day the entire time. And once he realized by June and July of 2023 that he wasn't going to have a company anymore, he unveiled fake cars with fake prices that cost a lot of real money to make. And if you're thinking that the designers that developed these cars got paid, well, they didn't. They're suing. He quit filing financial statements and paying interest, and even as his company's stock dropped like a rock when the note holder started to squeeze the company in the form of 1 billion shares of dilution, he just kept lying to his shareholders and employees, which he never listened to anyway, and the owners of the vehicles. He made up fake benefits for Ocean One owners, made up stories about OEMs looking to purchase the company, and released them to Reuters as leaks, and even figured out a way to file for bankruptcy with all his debt, while allowing what followers he had left to believe the quote-unquote American part of the business could still be acquired in a buyout, at least if they didn't read the SEC documents.
The notes prohibit us from entering specified fundamental transactions, including without limitation, mergers, business combinations, and similar transactions. So a buyout is prohibited.
Anyone can shake your hand in evening wear or walk from the concourse to the chaise by the pool and cause attraction. They can hold a special invite-only shareholder launch event at the New York Stock Exchange to convince you with the setting and fanfare that all of this is real and definitely happening. But once you see the inside of the apartment littered with lies, anger, nepotism, false claims, a culture of fear, and vaporware, and the 10K.
Our management has limited experience in operating a public company.
My goodness, the 10K. It can't be unseen. I'm embarrassed to drive my Ocean. And I'm not the only one. And the believers will talk about risk tolerance and how I just don't have it. I don't have the gumption to be an early adopter. But I disagree. How do I sell a potential brick car? Very diligently. Until I saw behind the curtain, I liked the car. But even from the beginning, I had a clear intention.
I expected to buy it, test it, answer all your questions about it, and go with something else.
I review electric vehicles, and I want to review many more from an ownership experience, from the point of view of other owners, from a first drive and first impressions point of view. But as a creator, I answer the questions I'm asked and let that journey take me where I'm needed. In this case, I was reporting on Fisker objectively. That's where I was needed. But this vehicle can no longer be the subject of a comparison. I can no longer appreciate its positive attributes. So how do you sell a potentially brick car? You try your best. Right now, an Extreme is $37,000, $38,000. An Ultra is $34,000, $35,000. And sports are not for sale, but Fisker said that if they would have been, they would have been $25,000. So there's your retail. What if somebody offered you full retail for your Ocean? Is that enough to get out? You know what you have to do before you make a financial decision, right? Talk to the wife? Was it a good idea to get the Ocean?
I thought it was at first, and I'm definitely a car enthusiast. And in hindsight, no.
If the car threw itself into park while you were driving it in 5 o'clock traffic, what would you do next?
I would sell it.
And what if your vehicle just randomly rolled backwards and you weren't ready for it?
I would hate that. I would not be comfortable driving something like that. No matter how good looking the car is, if it's got problems with it, or I feel like it's a safety issue or could cause an accident, I'm not down with that.
And why is that?
Because it's a safety issue. I want to buy a brand new car and make sure that that car is reliable and dependable. Even if it is a new startup, there's certain expectations I think that needs to be met.
And I may be a dunce, but I'm not a gambler. I have a degree in finance. I refuse to accept negative equity. I will always be a member of the Fisker community, and I took this journey for you. In order for me to report on the vehicle, I needed to have it. But at this point, there's nothing left to report. I mean, other than a cracked windshield will total your car and a bent door frame will total your car. Grab some gap insurance and drive slow. But there's plenty more to report on the company. I did that for 4 years before I had a vehicle, and I can do it for the foreseeable future without one. And this community will live on, and I will continue to support it in any way I can. But I cannot take a $40,000 loss. I made a $1,000 deposit. I made a $4,000 down payment. I paid $2,438 in destination. I paid taxes. I paid additional fees to the tune of another $3,000. And I lost $13,000 on my trade and my Tesla, which had $9,000 of positive equity. And I did it so I could be a part of your story and provide you with accurate, up-to-date, concise analysis of what's going on with this company from a hardware, software, media, and financial point of view. All from the perspective of an actual owner with skin in the game. $27,694 of skin to be exact. But at the end of the day, I don't have any more money to give this con man. If you want to see the positives and keep the faith and be a believer, go check out one of the at least 100 channels out there that talk only positively about Fisker. Ignore all the information, articles, media coverage, facts, SEC filings, and likely because of a disgusting amount of hubris, basically portray this con man as a visionary designer with a perfect car who himself, in the process of conning all of us, sacrificed what was left of his reputation in the automotive industry to make around $20 million or whatever his house sells for, while all of us took hundreds of millions of dollars in losses, investing in his fake vision from his Chinese knockoff car. And not Chinese knockoff in the sense you're typically thinking of. It's not a lower quality, cheap, and poor copy of something American or European that's made in China. It's a lower quality, expensive copy of something Chinese, manufactured in Austria by a reputable contract manufacturer who was completely ignored in the manufacturing process and forced to use lower quality, cheap parts from whoever could deliver them the fastest. The worst part about this is the negative impact it will have on the EV industry as a whole. It'll make people think that the EV industry is just flooded with con men who go here to steal from people. And that's what I feel like I represent when I drive it around. And that feeling is what makes it the worst car on earth. So you'll never see me in it again. If you could lock in the number of dollars that you're going to lose on your Fisker Ocean, would you do it? Or would you gamble and say, I think I can lose less later? This video comes from months of following the company, producing videos, and making content that's helpful to Ocean owners and people researching the company for objective perspectives from an ownership standpoint. If you want to know about the financials or maybe the interface, or you could even learn about how it drives and what it charges like, or what it's like to deal with all these problems that happen all the time, I've made those videos. If you want to know what their financial statements actually said, I made that video as well. What's a service appointment like, and can you even get one? I started this journey because I was enthusiastic about this car, and I will end it by admitting I made a mistake and locking out any more potential losses. Not away from the owners or the people who were burned and need more information, but the company and what it stands for, which is now falsehoods, anger, fear, nepotism. So what do we do? If you're still watching this video, that's the question I'm posing to you. Is there a lawsuit here? Should owners band together? Is there somebody we can call to figure it out that isn't the Ghostbusters? Have you bought a car from a bankrupt manufacturer and gotten a settlement of some kind? If you're in the comments and you think you might know something that can help us as a community, please feel free to let us know down below. I released a poll recently, Fisker owner vibe check. Here is your data, and I agree with this commenter. I am all of these things. I loved my Ocean at one point until it put itself into park on me in 5 o'clock traffic. I'm totally done with it because it brings me nothing but embarrassment and no feelings of fun or satisfaction. I'm mad because it cost me so much money, and no one will ever reap the benefits of that money I lost. But I'm also 100% in agreement with the fact that it is not the destination, it's the journey. It's just that my My journey with that key fob and those bugs and errors, hardware and software alike, is over. And if someone asked me what happened, I bought the worst car in the world. And I took my own advice. If you can get out, get out. Or become a feverish, OCD obsessive, multiple ocean owner who will forever be in a very exclusive club with a small number of owners who have a partly functional car from a completely defunct company. And that's why I believe the Fisker Ocean is the worst car in the world. But how did I get rid of it? What did I trade it for? There's something new in the garage that I haven't revealed yet. If you want to find all that out, make sure you subscribe and join Patreon, become a YouTube member for early access to videos. Big surprise coming there for those members very soon. And of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see ya on the next one.
Hey! Smash the like button!
Thank you.